Let's tell you what's going to be happening here until later on this afternoon. So yeah, we're going to go around the world, take bits and pieces of news for you, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about the Kia Humanitarian Foundation and some of our very, very, very great initiatives. So we're going to do that, and then we'll talk all of the issues concerning Liberia. Too many breaking news. There are some things happening in the country you need to know. And we will not to give you those breaking news right here. And you can only get that on Kia Radio 95.9. We are the grandmasters of broadcasting, and you can beat us. You got to join us. Let's do it together until 6 o'clock. It's going to be a full house. We're going to do it together. So those of you on the social media, all you need to do is to drop your comments, and let's read them out for you. Drop your comments live on our Facebook feed, and we will have them read out for you. Shortly we'll go around the world, take bits and pieces for you, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about the Care Humanitarian Foundation. Of course, this is where we go next. Let's take pieces of news from around the world. This is where we go next. Getting the very best in terms of what's happening around the world. And we are very, very elated to always give you these bits and pieces of news. They help to control and to keep you abreast with issues happening around the world. Seems as though the war between Ukraine and Russia is far from ending. Let's go way to Russia and see what's happening in that part of the world. Russia's strike kills 8 in fresh attack on Ukrainian port. Russian missiles have hit a civilian container ship at a port in Ukraine, Odyssea's region, killing 8 people according to local officials. And this is the third attack on a civilian vessel in the past 4 days, said the region's governor Oilt Kepa, who described it as yet another crime by an insidious army. He said Russia has targeted port infrastructure and all the victims were Ukrainians. seems as though the war between Ukraine and Russia is far from finishing. A 46-year-old port employee and another man, aged 26, died of the injuries after being taken to hospital, while several others were wounded. The wave of strikes on Ukraine ports on the Black Sea coast coincide with a European tour by President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is visiting leaders in London, Paris, and Rome. Rome is in Italy. In Downing Street, he met Ukraine Prime Minister Keir Starmer and NATO's new Secretary Mark Rutte, who warned this week that Ukraine should be facing its toughest winter since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. Let's take more. We are told that it's not easy in Florida. Hurricane Milton is causing landfalls. A lot of things are happening. We empathize with the people in the United States. Our hearts are with them as they go through the toughest moment in that country's history. Let's see the impact of Hurricane Milton. At least 4 people have died, including one person in a mobile home community after Hurricane Milton lashed the U.S. state of Florida. Officials from St. Lucie County on the East Coast said the deaths were the result of at least 2 tornadoes that hit the area before Milton itself arrived late on Wednesday. More than 3 million homes and businesses across Florida have been left without power as a result of the storm, according to the state governor. Wow, this is a problem. Let's come to Africa. You want to know what's happening in our continent? Trying to check it out for you. Getting the African news. We cannot relent. We'll continue to check it out. Stay checking. Let's look what's happening in Africa. DR Congo, Ethiopia, Kenya elected to Human Rights Council. The Democratic Republic of Congo is among 15 countries elected to the Human Rights Council on Wednesday, despite objections by the country's opposition. Benin, Gambia, Kenya, Ethiopia, other African countries elected to the council. The 5 countries will serve for 3 years, starting on January 1, 5 at the Assembly. there was virtually no opposition to Kinshasa's election. Congo pulled 172 votes out of 190. Human Rights Watch, Congolese civil society, and opposition parties have pointed out political repressions, arbitrary detentions, and killings as reasons to deny Kinshasa a seat on the symbolic but highly prestigious body. Congo's Minister for Human Rights said the countries will use the position to improve its rights situations. The Human Rights Council was established in 2006 and is tasked with protecting and promoting human rights across the world and addressing violations. Good news for us. I don't know where we are with our non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council. We'll take one more, and we'll come to talk about other issues. There is a warning coming from the United States. Let's look at it. Let's look at what the United States is warning against. U.S. warns nationals to consider travels to Marburg hit Rwanda, meaning they do not want their citizens to travel to Rwanda. The United States have issued a travel advisory urging citizens to consider trips to Rwanda due to an outbreak of the deadly Marburg virus. The warning comes after the East African nation reported 12 fatalities, primarily among health workers, since the outbreak was declared late last month. The U.S. Department has raised the travel advisory to level 3, which recommends that Americans consider to travel to Rwanda. This advisory is just one level below level 4, which advises against travel together. As of now, 41 confirmed cases of the Marburg virus have been reported by the Rwandan Health Ministry. In response to Rwanda Development Board announced enhanced travel measures, including temperature check, passengers' questionnaires, and hand washing, sanitizing stations at departure points. Travelers are advised to self-monitor for symptoms such as fever. The Marburg virus, which is transmitted from food baths, belongs to the filovirus family, which also includes Ebola. To combat the outbreak, Rwanda has initiated a vaccination campaign with over 700 trial vaccines. We're going to come back to talk about the issues that matter to our country, Liberia. And so, welcome, folks, wherever you are. It's better to be here. And again, Liberia depends on all of us to make some changes. And those changes should be evident that we are ready to change the course of action of Liberia. And we can only hope that we all embraced a very bright future, a very, very bright future. And we can only want a very bright future for our country. And so let me all use this time to say welcome to all of you as you engage with us on this platform. Those of you watching on the internet via our Facebook page, you can follow us too. Those of you listening via the radio and you want to be a part of the Facebook feed to see live the show, you can join us on Kia Communications Network on all social media platforms. That includes Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can follow us right on those social media handles, and you can definitely see us when we drop new videos and when we go live. And so we are just grateful to all of you, and I want to say thanks for always joining us. You know, there are several radio stations in this country, but you chose to be with us at a particular time when we are on. And so just leave your comments live on our Facebook feed, and we will read them for you. We'll read them for you, trust me. And all you need to do too is to you need to just help us share the video as well, so others can join in. Let me say good afternoon to every one of you that have tuned in. I will recognize few persons that have joined us on the social media. Thomas S. Camara Sr. says, "How are you doing, sir? Well, I want to join the family as a political commentator, as an analyst on the show. What is your process to?" Thank you. We will get back to you. Garcia Wei says, "Hi, I'm following from Oro. Thank you so much. Please share the video so that others can join. Let's continue to talk." But again, I don't know how many of you have you've come across knowing the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. And the Kia Humanitarian Foundation may seem as just a foundation, but there are a lot of good things that you need to know. And you know, when I said good things, they are meant to inform you about the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. The Kia Humanitarian Foundation was birthed through a Liberian who, in my mind, believed that he lived a life in Liberia, went through the hard and difficult moments that every ordinary Liberian in our country is now faced with. He was faced with those problems. And so he went to the United States after living in Liberia for a very long time, born here, grew up here, went to school. And I tell you some horrible stories of Mr. Christopher Kia. I call those stories horrible because no human being should be subjected to such a life. But there is a saying that goes, at such a time, such a condition. And sometimes when these things happen, it prepares you for the future. It brings you to a point where you get to know that life has a meaning. When you continue to persevere, when you continue to get, you know, the process going, you decide not to quit. Because it's often said that quitters don't win. Quitters do not win, and winners do not quit. So in order to have your goals achieved, you must be persistent. And Mr. Christopher Kia was a persistent man. He did not allow the storm of life to blow him in a direction that he didn't want to go. But what did he do? He braved the storm and said to himself, "I cannot give up. Though I'm going to school today, my books are all wet. And I will be made to stand outside for several minutes, or maybe if not an hour, so that my clothes can get dry before getting to class." And that's why I call those stories horrible stories. They are horrible stories because you do not want a situation of that nature to before you. And so few other persons have joined my ally and my brother and friend, Don Tio. He said, I'm following my ally. Thank you so much, ally. You've always watched my back, and I'm very proud of you. The brother who is proud of you, my brother. Garcia says, thanks very much for the network. I am so happy to be a part of this family. Thank you so much, and please share the video as well. Let others join. Share to all of the groups that you can share to, so others can join the broadcast as well. So Mr. Christopher Kia went through these horrible moments in Liberia, and as God could have it, he amalgamated forces, and then he traveled to the United States. Working very hard, complacent, very content with life, talked to tour very hard in the United States, and today God is a successful person. And why am I talking about his success? Mr. Kia's story, Mr. Christopher Kia's story, will motivate somebody listening to the radio. Somebody who think that life has turned the other way around and you cannot make it anymore. Mr. Christopher Kia's story will motivate that man, that woman sitting somewhere right now and thinking that they want to give up, that there is no hope. Mr. Christopher Kia will walk from the Bourgeois Island to his school in town in Central Monrovia and will walk back home on a daily basis. His father was an educator. His mother was, a gardener who always was around the soil, trying to make ends meet for her family. The old man himself was in the classroom trying to teach and making sure that his family get a dignified life. And that's why I do not question the benevolent will that I see, the benevolent attitude that I see in Mr. Kia. I do not question it, because I think it is hereditary. It is something that he inherited from his parents. And so this man went to the United States, toured very hard, and he became a successful man. Not turning his back on Liberia. Did not say to himself that, hey, I'm successful now. All I can do is to enjoy myself. Looking at the suffering that I went through, looking at the things that I passed through, it's time that I just sit and enjoy my money. He said, no. I must give back to Liberia. I must give back to my people. I must give back to people who are less fortunate, people who are living in destitution, people who are living living an impoverished life. I must help them. Against that backdrop, Mr. Christopher Kia and his darling wife, Mistress Josephine Kia, decided that they will initiate a foundation that will come to serve the Liberian people. And their decision was hinged on the fact that they do not want to find escape route to say, oh no, saying we get money, we just help people. No. They chose to help people who don't know. People whom they have not seen. People they do not have any family ties with. They decide to help these people. And so, most often when I'm talking, I always love to hail our mother, Mistress Josephine Kia. Why? And I tell you for free, I'm a married man. I know how women, behave. I know the tendency of women. Some women, who see their husbands very successful, who always want to say, look, this money we have, let's use it on ourselves. Let's just take care of our immediate families, and stuff like that. But this woman is open to helping. She is open to listen to the ordinary people. When we went to dedicate the renovated house into a farm in District 16 of Maserado, when this lady spoke, I had goosebumps coming on my skin. Why did I have goosebumps coming on my skin? It's not because I've not heard people talk that way, but I could sense the passionate way she spoke. I could sense the spirit of humility in her voice. And that spirit is what brought the goosebump on me. And I was like, wow, this cannot be a person speaking. This must be an angel, an angel passing through, a woman to speak. Because she support the dream of her husband. Others were saying, no, I mean, what's the essence, We just enjoy our money. But they decided to establish the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. Today, the Kia Humanitarian Foundation, after being birthed, that foundation has also birthed other great initiatives. Before I go further, let me recognize a few persons that have joined us as well on the social media. Joseph Bolen Nambe say, good afternoon, Kia FM. I'm listening live from Jalatown resident. Thank you so much. Israel Bowiasie is also watching. He said, thanks so very kindly. Great job, my brother. Thank you so much. And that's our former acting station manager, Mr. Israel Bowiasie, my brother and friend. I want to just say thank you so much. And we continue to appreciate the work you did here while you were, here in charge. You're a very, very good friend of mine. And I always appreciate the brotherly love that we share. So that is that. And then the Kia Humanitarian Foundation birthed the radio station and said, listen, even though we have on our payloads and we have raised our payloads with 4 distinct initiatives, we have the educational arm, we have the agricultural arm, we have the health component, and we have the sanitational component. But we can still bring out the very best for all of these things to be propagated, to be promulgated. We can bring out the communication arm. Let's have a radio station. Let's have the station to serve the public. Let's have the station, and the station can be able to propagate the messages of the NGO, of the foundation, trying to make sure that everyone is on board. Nobody is left behind. So the Kia Radio 95.9 was birthed. Today, it's on that radio that we sit and explain this great initiative of Mr. Christopher Kia and his darling wife. They are doing magnificent. They've been able to put a lot of kids in school this semester. Now they're putting them in school, but putting smiles on the faces of their parents. Because these people, they didn't have their funds. It's not that they had it and they didn't want to do it, but they were very, very much, stranded. They could not find their kids in school. And it was good that the Kia Humanitarian Foundation, through our dynamic and illustrious CEO and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Kia, came in and held these people by their hands and said, we are here, wake up, we can help you. Today, those kids are in school, having book bags, books, shoes. You just need all of the things that complete a school-going kid. Everything you think that can complete a school-going kid is what the foundation provides. Thanks to our team in the United States, thanks to our president, Mr. George Sibo, very wonderful team player. And thanks to our CEO and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Kia. Thanks to Mr. Kishen, Moni Kishen, who has been in the background trying to make sure that all of these things to come to fruition. Great team in the United States. Thanks to the team on grounds as well. Thanks to Mr. Moses Oflomo, our acting executive director. Very workaholic, very good, in doing some stuff around. I mean, that is his work, his nature. And we've worked together, the entire team at the radio station, the entire team at the foundation. We've been able to work together Today, the Kia Humanitarian Foundation is one of those foundations in Liberia that you can count on. You can count on. And that's what I've said to all of you. You got to be listening to Kia Radio every day. Because you might not just know when the announcement of a breakthrough will come. And like I said, it may not be on my show that announcement will be made, or could be made, or may be made, but it could be on the next show. It could be on the next person's platform. It could be on another radio program. So you need not to change your diet. Keep it set. That when these announcements are made, you could be one of the beneficiaries. We can announce tomorrow and say we need 10 volunteers for the agriculture, side of the NGO, and to go and do some assessment. You could be part of the team. We could say we need 5 or 10 nurses or 10 medical practitioners, so we can do an assessment or can do something in the health, sector relating to delivering our health component. If you're not listening to the radio, how can you get it? So the radio is an arm of communication. So that's why at the NGO level, we'll have no position there called public relation person. The radio is the public relation person. So this radio will serve as the public relation arm. So that is why you must always listen to the radio. You must always get glued to the radio. Don't change your diet. Because we will announce, one of these days we just come and announce something that you do not expect. And so the Foundation is here to serve you. It's here to do the needful. And we are very grateful to God to have Mr. Christopher Kier and his wife, Mrs. Josephine Kier, for all their support. The entire team in the United States for their support as well. This is just more than words that we can just say, but we want to appreciate you. We want to just say thank you for everything you do for our country, Liberia. Even the radio itself is a blessing to a lot of people, including me that sit behind the microphone. And we all can want to be grateful to this family for not looking after themselves. They could say we want to use our money and establish our businesses that will bring a lot of profit to us, that will be profiteering. We get a lot of profit. We can open our different, thing with our money instead of opening foundation where we only spending money. They could say so, and they could be right. But at the end of the day, they said to themselves, no, our goal is to impact. Impactation is what we look for. Impactation is what we want. So we will continue on that path. And that path they have not reneged. From the day I stepped forth into this place, this building, Mr. Christopher Kier and his wife, they have never stopped amazing me in terms of, the support they gave to this entity. They have never stopped. They amaze me every day. And as we speak, if you enter our studio now, you think you're in different country. You think you are in the Western world. All thanks to the CEO, the president, Mr. Kishen, along with our Mother Josephine Kier. From this equipment, I hear, because now people are getting, somebody called me yesterday and said, my man, the station is crystal clear. And I know from when that person was speaking, the microphones we have in the studio, we don't want to describe it, but it is more than a heavyweight champion. All thanks to the CEO, all thanks to his wife, thanks to the president, Mr. George Sibo, thanks to Mr. Moni Kishen. They all helped to see this thing come to fruition. And we can only say thank you. Going forward, our attention now is tilted towards the foundation. It's tilted towards the foundation. We're going to do our best to making sure that everything that's supposed to make the foundation what it is will come to fruition. So that is it. Continue to follow us on Sunday. It's going to be the Mr. Morning Kitchen and the CEO on this platform. Mr. Kitchen is already in town. He's here on a working visit. Since this man came, he has not rested. He's just been working from the morning to evening. I'm in the studio, the man still working. You can give me small change. I'm Yeah, but he's very workaholic. So he's here on a working visit, not on nothing called pleasuring. Everything I see this man do is to work from morning to evening. So yes, in the coming days, there will be a lot of changes you will see to Kia Communications Network. You see to Kia Radio 95.9. You will see at the foundation. Too many different things will happen in the coming days. Thanks to all of our bosses, Mr. George Sibo. Thanks so much, Prezo. You are a wonderful team player. Thank you so much. You always, you always watch our back. When we go, we're doing some things that are not something you call us to book. You just call us friendly. You just talking in passing and in jokes. I like the working relationship. Let's continue on that path. And so, thanks to everyone. So, yeah, we can transition now to politics. Too many things happening. So on Sunday, you can listen at 6 o'clock like Brent time. Mr. Kishen will be here, the general, will sit right in the seat I'm sitting in. And the CEO is back there in the United States. He will be right on the stream as well. And you will see them as they discuss issues relevant to the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. So all of you who normally win a small thing, I'm promising you anything, but continue to listen to that show on Sunday. Yeah, continue to listen. You may not sit and not listening to the radio. Maybe something may pass by you, something could pop up. Before you know it, you are just left out. So we don't want that. We want you to always be a part. So 6 o'clock on Sunday, listen to the conversation with the CEO, the vision bearer, Mr. Christopher Kier. He will be proudly hosted by the General Moni Kishen right here. And so you don't need to miss it. Several things are happening in the country. We now transition to politics. And before we do that, we want a lot of you to come on. We have some breaking news that we want to share with you. So we're going to drop the video into different chat rooms, different political chat rooms, because we want others to join. Because we're about to talk some things, break some news for you. And these news we're about to break, they should not mean, as we say that, we see the thing, we see things happening. Things are happening. Things are already happening. Things are already happening. Today is the International Day of the Girl Child. We want to say thanks to all of our wonderful girls' children. I have one and several other ones from my relatives and friends. Yeah, so again, it is just so easy, and we can just say congratulations to all of the girls' children. So that is it. We are trying to share the video because we've encouraged most of you to share the video. We're about to give you some breaking news. Yeah, too many things are happening. Too many things are happening. But we are about to break some news here. On Kia Radio, you can have this news being broken. Only on Kia Radio, this news will be broken. And we are encouraging you, stick with us. Stick with us. Don't go. Stick with us. We will continue to surprise you. Yeah, so we are doing our best. We're coming to do this. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. So you can share the video. You can join us. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. Sharing. Keep sharing. It's very, very much important. Keep sharing. Yeah. Keep sharing. So yes, send it to most of the chat rooms. We're about to break some news. And if you're listening via the radio, encourage somebody to come listen alongside with you. So on yesterday, Princess and I, we talked about the resignation of Mr. Amin Modat. We talked about the resignation of Mr. Amin Modat. Mr. Amin Modat resigned on yesterday. And folks, what is coming out may surprise you. What is coming out may surprise you. And that surprise is that Mr. Amin Modat was not forced. He was not compelled. Nobody pushed him to resign. And I want to make that very emphatic, very clear. Why am I saying so? It's because of the new revelations we've had. Mr. Modat's resignation was hinged on the fact that the president came back to the country. The night the president came, Mr. Modat drove. The commerce minister then, the former commerce minister, Amin Modat, drove to the house of the president. It's like the president arrived and the commerce minister of the country decides to go and greet the president and give his side of the story. And upon the arrival of Mr. Modat at the president's residence, the president was informed that the commerce minister was there to see him. And the president sent a message that he didn't want to see Mr. Modat. I will repeat what I said. The president said that he didn't want to see Mr. Amin Modat. So Mr. Amin Modat left angrily from the home of the president, and the next day he tendered in his resignation. So it is not on the basis of morality. You see many of you running around, oh yeah, the man resigned because, you know, a character is being rubbed in the mud and this, that. Mr. Modat resigned out of frustration. That, let me tell you what is happening now. And those are the news I want to break. And only on this platform you can get those news. Do you know that there is a very serious tension in the Unity Party camp right now? The Unity Party is now split into two. Mr. Amin Modat got his own followers and his own supporters. Those people who believe that Mr. Modat is an angel. And there are people in the Unity Party who believe that, yes, they love Mr. Modat, but when it comes to integrity issue, when it comes to integral issues, he must be held to that standard. Like yesterday, I hailed Unity Partisans because most of them spoke out publicly about the issues that were happening and that were at hand. Today, I'm going to give the Unity Party folks more task. And that task is to demand the resignation of the NRA boss, Mr. Double Jala. This case is not done. It's not done yet. And if you think we are going to sit back and allow these things to just happen, no. So Mr. Modat did not resign because of morality issue. Mr. Modat resigned because he went to see the president and the president said, I do not want to see the commerce minister. And he was angry. He came back the next day. Mr. Modad resigned. So it was not based on morality issue. It was not based on morality. But thankfully, Mr. Modad have resigned. It's a very good thing. But there is still a gap. And that gap is for LSCC or the GSC to come in with a very big forensic audit, forensic financial audit of the entire transaction. One group is telling us that the money is 96,000. Mr. Modad is saying it's 45,000. These speculations and incorrect figures that have been put out to the public must be corrected. And for these figures to be corrected, it cannot be done with public perception. It must be done through the process. That is why we are calling on the GSC to commission an audit. And when that audit is conducted, we'll know who is saying the truth. But guess what? We cannot be conducting the audit and Mr. Dobajala still sit in his position. It's not possible. Mr. Dobajala was a part of the deal. Now, let me give you a little history setting before I come to start breaking the other news for you. The money in question is meant, and it was given by a private company called Metex. Metex is operating dubiously already, and that we need to say to the Liberian people. Metex is one of the companies in this country that is afflicting and that is bringing on hardship on the ordinary people. They are charging unexplained charges at the National Port Authority. And what they do after they collect all these millions of US dollars, they will make chicken change to the LRA. And in the agreement, they said that money should be used for human resource capacity building. So that money goes directly to LRA. LRA is the custodian of the money. But the money should be used for a particular purpose. And that purpose is human resource capacity building. How can a card bought by Ami Modad be human resource capacity building, for human resource capacity building purpose? How can a 96,000 car be a benefactor to the that are sitting on the ground to write their notes in several villages around Liberia? How can a 96,000 car purchase be equated to human resource capacity building? Let me tell you what that phrase actually meant. That those people who are at the NRA and the Commerce Ministry who are fighting to raise revenue for government, their capacity should be built through other workshops, seminars, or different kind of activities that will sharpen their skills on how they can have innovations to continue to raise revenue for government. That was what it was meant for. To our dismay, the money was diverted. So, there is no way you can turn this thing. I am a very strong supporter, and I will say this in a very uncertain tone. I am a strong supporter of Mr. Jala, Mr. Dobajala. I am a strong supporter of Mr. Dobajala. Why? Because the places that Mr. Dobajala worked, he left an impeccable characters there. Those impeccable characters are the ones that are the trademark that some of us follow Mr. Dobajala. When I say follow him, I am one of the person, a very big admirer of Mr. Dobajala, because he worked at the PPCC, left an indelible mark on the hearts of the employees there, left an indelible mark on the hearts of Liberians. He did not take a no for an answer. If you're not able to do the job, Mr. Dobajala will have an issue with you. you are to follow the PPCC process and you renege on that, Mr. Dobajala will have issue with you. Based on those facts, we supported and followed Mr. Dobajala. Am I still convinced that Mr. Dobajala is that integrated outcome that I saw before? I cannot say yes, because his hands are halfway in the cookies jar. His hands are halfway in the cookies jar. Mr. Dobajala worked for the how they call them, Cattle Central Liberia. Left an impeccable character there as well. Today, what has changed? Mr. Dobajala cannot be on the job and be investigated. It's not possible. Mr. Dobajala must be suspended while investigations are ongoing. We cannot raise this country to a few group of people who believe that only should live the people and the masses in the country suffer from road connectivity. They suffer from healthcare delivery. When nurses at various hospitals are stealing drugs and carrying them home to their private hospitals and clinics, and the masses are made to suffer and given prescriptions to go and buy drugs across to their very pharmacies that they have stolen the government drugs and taking it to their own private hospitals or private clinics or private drugstores or pharmacies. We cannot sit back and allow these things to happen. Do you know how much 96,000 US dollars can do to a particular healthcare center? If we would have put saying to ourselves that, hey, listen, let's 96,000 and in the new Redemption Hospital in Kawa. That 96,000 will end that project, and today we'll have a full-fledged hospital standing in Kawa to call the new Redemption Hospital. On the contrary, you have people who want to amass wealth for themselves to ride the latest car. I don't know whether the car used to call Ami Modani when you enter the car and say, "Good morning, Mr. Ami Modad." If you have luxury, you want to live in luxury, it should not be at the expense of the Liberian people. It should not be at the expense of a government job. You want to live in luxury, go and find a private institution, a private job. Go and get engaged into business. And because Mr. Modad is a businessman, one would think that Mr. Modad would live his luxury life while he was a businessman and nobody would question him. But coming to government and want the hand of time in less than 6 or 7 months, that is alarming. It's eye-catching. And we cannot sit back and allow these things to happen. Mr. Modad has resigned. Thank you so much. But Mr. Dobajala needs to be suspended. Since he doesn't have the courage to resign, he must be suspended while investigations are ongoing. We're not saying he's guilty. We are saying due process should be done. And the due process is to accord him the due process, according to the due process, and that is to say, let the man be suspended. Let him be suspended. Let him step aside. After the investigation, if he's not guilty, he resume his job. We are not concerned about making people to lose their jobs. That's not what we're concerned about. We are concerned about the people in Bokonjile. We are concerned about the southeast that do not have roads to come to town. We are concerned about the people who cannot access healthcare delivery. The healthcare delivery system is poor. We are concerned about the ordinary Liberians who cannot find a square meal a day to eat. That's the people we are concerned about. So if one man who is a businessman was appointed to Commerce Ministry and decide to amass wealth at the expense of the Liberian people, and he willingly resigned, we are grateful. We are grateful. We are grateful. And all we can say is that the next person who will come to the Ministry of Commerce should know exactly that the eyes of the Liberian people are open. You know, go are those days where Liberians will sit down and when you talk about politics, say, oh, leave it at the people think, oh, let them lead the thing, let them happy. country. Let them go, in our land. The country will get better one day. Liberians are getting involved with the day-to-day running of the government. Their eyes are open. Their eyes are open. There are no more spectators. There are no more political spectators in the country where they say that and say that the people think that they just go on, man, anything they do. This time, the Liberian people are fully involved with the running of the government. There is something called the code of public opinion. Every day the public gave their opinion issues and they tell you how they view things. If I am president of Liberia, I will listen to radio every day. Though it may be strenuous, not just strenuous alone, it may also be heartbreaking. There are some things you will listen to the president, you may not want to listen to it, but the public speak through the media. And when you hear the public tilting towards a particular topic, all their discussion is at a particular point and going to a particular situation in the country as the president take action. And I like the stand the president took, not to even have a conversation, because the next thing Modai would have done, after going to the president, and the president would have given audience, he would have convinced the president. You have said to the president, Mr. President, what thing? The line on you, the high looking, dress a farm and put it in suit, maybe proper suit. And at the end of the day, the president would have fallen for it. And before you know it, Mr. Ami Modai is State Minister of Commerce. So to avoid it, the president said, I'm not seeing him. That was a very good step from the president. And I'm not saying, I'm not that one happy. I'm saying that is exactly what happened at the home of the president. Do we have additional information? Yes. Why the information? One, we told you that, yesterday, Princess and I, that there was a cabinet meeting held yesterday. Several things came out of the cabinet meeting. I'm going to tell you a few. And I told you I got a very strong source at the hymn of power. I got somebody very close. And every time, you know what I boast about this? Even if you go to election 2029 and change and bring in a new president, I will still have a strong source near the president. I will always. That is the blessing God gave me. That one, you can't take it from me. Yesterday, during the cabinet, the president virtually begged, and this is where I'm actually disappointed. The president begged government officials who have not declared their assets to declare their assets. The president begged officials who haven't declared their assets should declare their assets. He said, I beg you, you don't make the government look ugly. You go and declare your asset. One would think the president should be dismissing people who have flaunted the orders of the president. Listen, in every given space, in every country, when the president speaks, it is a policy. And that policy must be adhered to. If the president said all my government officials should declare their assets, and there was a time frame, there was a time given, all of them flaunted the time. And most of them, only a minute portion, a portion that I consider very infinitesimal, that declare their assets. The rest of them are violators. Do they have the moral rectitude to question other people? No, they do not have it. And we think that the president should have suspended some of these officials. And it would have sent a strong signal that the president is not taking things lightly. But the president went to the cabinet meeting and told the people, just make the government look ugly. You please go and declare your asset. And I'm begging you, go and declare your asset. I thought the president would start to deal with these people. I thought the president would start to dismiss. I thought the president would start to suspend. The president went with almost an That was not all that happened at the retreat. The president took some tough decisions too. You know, that is how sweet it is. The president took some tough decisions. Unlike the CDC administration. And you know why? I am saying this because I was one of the champions. I was one of those on the radio expressing to the president then to ask his government officials that are occupying positions in the government to relinquish their party positions. I was one of the persons in this country, and many of you who follow me all along when I was with Kings FM and other stations, you know I'm one person who have always found at people holding government positions at the same time holding party positions. We cry on the former government. Mayor Jefferson Koji was mayor of the city of Monrovia. At the same time, he was the Secretary General of the party. There were several of them that were in the government and holding party positions. Appointed government officials. I mean, that's the category I'm putting them in. I'm not talking about those who were in the legislature at the same time, you know, serving their party. That's elected position. I'm talking about people who are appointed by the president. Because what will happen is that they will mix government with party politics. They will bring party politics to government. At the end result, you will see that it is not even 4 o'clock, but Mayor Koji will be at the CDC headquarters and conducting press conference because he's the Secretary General of the party. And by right, from the morning at 4 o'clock, at least to 4 or 5 o'clock, but you will see in the morning, 11 o'clock, the CDC headquarters is packed with journalists and Mayor Koji is addressing the press. It happened several times during the CDC administration. And we frown at it, some of us. Some of you who know me very well, you know what I stand for. You know me good. I don't have to tell you. And I frown at it. It was not Mayor Koji alone. There were several of them that were in the government that were appointed by President Weah, and they were still holding party positions. We frown at it. Some of them were appointed mayors, and they were still holding party positions. Some of them were deputy director. They were still holding party positions. There was this person from District 14. He was deputy to NTA, but he was still the coordinator of the party in District 14. Similarly, in most of the districts, those things happen. Citizens cry, and that one, I gave citizens, you know, pat on the back. They cry on that one and said, the government, the president should make these people to relinquish and choose. They should choose between the government job and the party job. That one, I gave citizens credit. They did that. They really cried. Some of them called on my show. They expressed their disappointment. They wanted the president to take decisions. Unfortunately, nothing was done until the 6-year ended, went to elections. The CDC was not re-elected. During the cabinet meeting yesterday, the president made a decision. And in the coming days, you will hear many resignations from party positions. It's clear. You must choose one. You either stay to the party position or you stay to the position I appointed you to. Choose one. He said, if it was happening, that means I did not know. But now that I know, you must choose between the government job you have and the party position. Kudos to the president. Kudos to President Boakai for this tough decision. A decision that other government will not take. So you will see, what is he? The man to the FPRC man, Amos Twe. In the coming days, Amos Twe will resign. And take it from me. Amos Twe will not resign FPRC job. Amos Twe will resign from the United Party Secretary General position. Yeah, that will happen because the president has said to them, you must choose one. choose the job that you want. You can choose the party job, no problem. You can go to the party. But what did the party say? Who want to party job or government job? So depending on that, in short, telling them say resign your party position and remain in government. Cornelia Kratoba, another person who is occupying government position as deputy minister for administration at the Ministry of State. At the same time, she's deputy secretary general for the Unity Party. She must choose between her job and the government job, the party job and the government job. President Baka was clear with them in the cabinet meeting. He told them clearly that I will not, they won't, the president said, I will not relent to dismiss people who do not. In fact, an ultimatum was given to them. So in the coming days, you will see plenty of resignation. Some of them will do it secretly or some of them will do it publicly. But the president is clear that you can't be holding the party position at the same time you're holding a government position. Not possible, especially a appointed position. The president said not possible in your government. Kudos to President Baka. And if I criticize something in the past and I see somebody else doing it, I mean, trying to work on it to change the course of action, I must think, I can be more thankful to President Baka for taking that decision in the cabinet meeting yesterday. Another thing, folks, the president is supposed to travel. In the cabinet meeting, the president announced that over the weekend he's supposed to travel. You know, I'm giving you all these things so that you can check in. Tomorrow, I sit down on the radio on Monday. I will be knocking my chest and say, I told you. The president announced in the cabinet retreat that he's traveling over the weekend. But before the president traveled, the president said he will change all the leaders, the entire leadership at the LDA. Change them. The old leadership I'm talking about, when Hassan Fatiga and who and A.B. Kroma, president changing all of them. You know, somebody sent me tell you and I say, how you talking like you are in the cabinet retreat or you're in the cabinet meeting? And that my tentacle spread. I'm not one of those journalists who just talk. I talk with facts. I talk, and when these things do not happen, do not trust me. Do not trust me. Do not trust me. So, the president is going to change the old leadership at the LDA. Our group, the president got issue with them. The president going to change them. A deputy minister at the Ministry of State is also going to be dismissed. They have asked the person to resign. I'm not going to because of one reason. One reason. Now I know the reason, I will not tell you. Sorry for that. But you will soon see a resignation from the Ministry of State. Another thing is, again, that took place at the cabinet retreat. Even though that deputy minister will resign, in the coming days you will hear a resignation from the Ministry of State. The president is also contemplating, he's thinking on replacing Mr. Senge. You know who Senge? Senge is the director of the EPS. He's the director of the Executive Protective Service, or so, or Protection Service, I want to call it. The elite security that takes care of the VIP. He's the head, he's the director. Mr. Senge will be replaced by Gregory Coleman. Listen to me, folks. We are saying these things because we have first information. We're not guessing. So Greg will be moving to EPS very soon, and you'll see all those things happening. Yeah, you know, the country is sweet, that was sweet. But for him, it is not because of incompetence. Greg has been a very wonderful director, but the president wants to do a little bit of reshuffle, and he thinks Greg fits directly in the EPS, so he wants to take Greg in the EPS. Though it is not 100% full-blown conclusion, but that is something the president is contemplating on. This one we got it from inside the kitchen cabinet of the president. Inside the kitchen cabinet. And they're still discussing this. So when that happens, it should not be strange. When that happens, it should not be strange. What additional information we got? We told you, said we're breaking news today. That's what we're doing. told you today is breaking news day. Today is breaking news day. What extra thing we have? Yeah, the president will replace the entire leadership, the old leadership of the LDA at the place there. They will take out Mr. A.B. Kromai will go, Hassan Fatiga will go. Yeah, they will go. And the president is intending to appoint new officials there. I told you that a deputy minister at the Ministry of State might either be dismissed or will be forced to resign. I told you that. So that is it. That is it. Now, the next thing I want to say to you, Orange and Lone Star are in serious problem. There is a company in the country already, an internet company owned by Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world. Yeah. You remember one time they said President Baka was on the phone with the richest man. That was the conversations they were having. The man have a company, an internet company called Starlink. Starlink has been lessened today. They've been given a temporary operational lesson to operate internet activities or to sell internet packages in Liberia. So Lone Star and Orange, where you people have a competitor already, yeah? So I just thought to let you know. Yeah, so it's commendable. Yes, it is commendable. Those that read economics, they say when you have too many people offering the same service, price become cheaper and the services become better. Price become cheaper services because if the next man who come as a competitor is providing the same services that you are providing and his own is cheaper and stronger and the people enjoying it, they will subscribe to him, so you'll be left with no option. That option is to what? Upgrade to the main level. I tell you, I gave you a very simple analysis and a very simple example. You have Lone Star Cell MTN that were in the country before all the GSM providers came. How much were people buying scratch card and SIM card and everything? They were buying it. $75, scratch card, $25, $50. People were buying. SIM card alone was $35. Who broke the barrier and broke the monopoly? It was Cellcom. Cellcom came and they started giving bonanza phone to people you call on the radio. So you call and they say, my nieces and so I live in so place, come for bonanza phone. And now people started owning phone in this country. They started giving SIM cards free to people. The SIM card that people were buying $65, $100 US. People started walking on the street and finding SIM card and all. What happened? It compelled MTN then to do what? To come to the level of Cellcom. They had to be on par because you don't do it, because everybody was going towards the entire country. They were transitioning. There was a huge exodus. You know what they call exodus? Movement of a huge exodus of people to Cellcom. So those that said, no, we gotta do something. They had to upgrade, do some stuff, reduce their prices, and they went on path. So when we have Starlink coming, and Starlink able to provide our internet, make it simple and make it strong enough that when you plug one time it go and it's cheaper, we can use it. Forget it. That one only Lone Star on their own. Yeah, Lone Star, you'll be on your own. Good. I've always never wanted to talk in the CDC matter, and I've always tried to avoid it. And the reason why I've tried to avoid it, it was based on the same reason today that I'm about to talk about it. The other day, somebody called me and said, all they think about CDC headquarters, why are you not talking about it? And I said to them, when a case is in court, my profession do not allow for me as a journalist to sit on the radio and discuss that case. In the judge's mind, or in the mind of the judges, they say you are prejudicing the case. I do not want to be seen as one person who is trying to prejudice a particular case. And that's why when the information came out that CDC headquarters was going to be, CDC was going to be evicted, I did not say a word because I knew that case was far from finishing. You know, as a journalist, we as journalists, we got to be smart people. It's not because a certain political party is going through hard times or stress. So because you're not a member of that political institution, you just want to see bad things happen. So one of the news that true, you just run with it. I do not do so. The reason I choose not to do it is because I always want to be on the path of being free to talk the way I want to talk. That CDC headquarters is a political place. And you expect that some of the cases will be political cases as well. And one thing people haven't understood, the CDC maintained that place 2005. They were not in power. They maintained the place. They were not thrown out. They were not given notice. They didn't have issues. Up to 2011, they still did not win election. They still kept that place moving. 2017, they won the elections. They became the governing. They still kept the place up to 2023. 2023 election when they lose the election. United Party wins. The next thing you hear is that CDC is being asked to leave their party headquarters. Again, I am not in any way accusing any government of having a hand, because the government do not have the land that CDC is on. And I want to make this very emphatic. The CDC do not, the government of Liberia, the United Party government do not have the land that the CDC occupies. The land in question is a private property, but the government is the custodian of the peace of the country and the legal system. So when people feel aggrieved, they go through the court process. So when this whole case was at the court, I chose not to talk about it. And then other day, Princess, the CDC headquarters business, I say, listen, Princess, I do not want to talk about CDC party headquarters thing because that case is far from finishing. And just what I said is what has come to fruition today. The court ruled that CDC should be evicted. And that news for all the radio stations in this country carry. Now CDC will be evicted from their headquarters and blah, 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 blah. I chose not to talk about it on my show because I knew that there was something different. And in fact, I was also looking at the repercussions, the security repercussions, the security ramifications that were situated around this matter. CDC is a grassroots political institution. Getting it out of their headquarters will be still, even if the court rules, getting them out of their headquarters is not going to be bread and butter. It's not going to be any small thing that any police will just go because the court said take them from there, you just go and take them from there. That thing would have sparked tension in the country. Already the country was being heated, polarized, politicized, and everything in the country was being seen as political. At that point in time where the country is hot, the CDC headquarters was at a momentary standstill one day where police went to effectuate a raid. That one brought the country to a standstill that day. No more activities on the Sinkosa was paralyzed. It was not few days, right after that incident, few days after, the CDC, evicted from the headquarters. I saw it. I said, no, I will not talk about this thing because this thing has the potential. This thing has the potential of taking the country backward, to allow this country to slip. Yeah, my own brother and friend, the incoming Pellet governor, that's you, Janitor Morba. Thank you so much. He said, great boss. Thank you so much, Chief. You are a wonderful team player as well. So yes, so I didn't want to speak to it, but yes, what the court, even though it, I always tell people when the lower court rules, do not be fast to talk, do not be fast to run into full-blown conclusion. Wait, let the case reach the Supreme Court have or say on it, then you can start to talk. The Supreme Court has just placed a stay order on all activities leading to the eviction of the CDC from its headquarters. Folks, are you hearing what I'm saying? I got the rate right here. The rate is with me. I'm sorry I did not tell George to put this rate up. Yeah, but anyway, that's okay. The rate is there. You can see the rate. So that is it. Bring it back a little bit, but that's the rate. The rate is here. That's the rate. The rate here say all pending actions that should be effectuated at the CDC's headquarters should be placed on hold until a conference between the people who get the land and CDC and the Justice in Chamber, His Honor Yusuf D. Kaba, is held. Until that is held. So, when that is not done, the CDC should not be evicted. And I thought to say this to you that let's take time in this country. Politics sometimes, yeah, the court, they go through the court process. Later on, the Justice in Chamber could say, okay, knowing for this, we'll call the case, and I did it, we'll say, go evict the CDC because they are illegally occupying the family land. That is it. In as much we have not reached that conclusion, we should not run this country into chaos because we do not support a particular political institution. I'm not a member of the CDC. I'm not a member of the United Party. Nor am I a member of any political institution. But what I do know is that everything in this country has political repercussions. If we're not careful, we could slip the country down a terrible path. And that is why it's always good to keep it on the low key. I chose not to talk about the CDC headquarters business. Because I also have with me another rate by another family claiming that same land that the bonus are claiming. Oh, it may interest you, but this is serious. This is serious. Here is the note that I have. You see it? Those of you on the Facebook, this is from another family claiming that they own a land as well. And I got this notice. In fact, this notice came up since September 17, 2024. I got it the very day. In fact, a source from the family sent this particular thing to me. I did not read it on the radio either. Because I knew there were things that were fundamentally wrong with this whole matter. And we needed to take it easy. We needed to take it easy. Again, let's endeavor to find a way to continue to do. Let's continue to find a way. Yeah, so that is it. Folks, yeah, we can stop here and take some calls. I think it's very important. We can take some calls, interaction from you, the public. We talk a lot. It is your time now to have your say on some of the very issues that we've talked about. 0772758958, 0886-393184 are the numbers. 0772-758958, 0886-393184. Numbers you listen to. Everything that we've said is your time to make your to make your contribution or provide your contribution to the show as we go along. We are not in the business of criticizing everybody. We are in the business of commending people if they are to be commended. So again, we always want to continue to say these things, that we continue to stay in the line of the laws. Let's stay in the confines of the laws of the country. 0772 758958, 0886 393184 are the numbers you can dial and just be a part of the program. Speak to any of the issues that we flagged on this platform on the program Inside Liberia on Care Radio 95.9. And we are here. My partner Princess is on an errand directly with the station, so she can't be here on today, but I'm here. My Desmond Brown. Of course, we can talk all of the issues right here. You can be a part. Call us up on 0772 758958, 0886 393184 are the numbers you can call. So again, not because we do not support a particular political institution. So we will just say, yeah, that ain't happening. And vice versa. Some people were here very, very happy that day when the Unity Party, was asked to leave their headquarters in Kongota. Some people were dancing, they were happy. So that bad blood is there. So when people say CDC too should be made to leave their headquarters, it's almost like you do me, I do you. That's the kind of system we have employed. That's the kind of things that we've decided to do now. Everybody must pay debt. Ain't happening to all the poor laughing, so it might happen to the CDC too. Well, I'm not interested in whether the CDC stay at this headquarters or not, but I know that at the time where the issue came up about CDC being evicted, it was just after a very serious commotion between the government of Liberia and the CDC. To have gone to their headquarters with another police and say you're moving them, that would have caused a serious political stalemate. It would have caused a serious political tension in the country. Who wants that? Nobody. Nobody wants to see a country where we'll be made to just stand. Nobody going anywhere. Nothing is moving, and everything is just at a standstill. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. 0772 8958, 0886 393184 are the numbers to call, and you will be true to the lines as we discuss issues concerning Liberia. You listen to all of the news from the cabinet retreat yesterday. President Boakai is very firm that if you have a party position, choose the party position or you choose the job he gave you. So yes, that is something we must commend the president for. We are very, very happy that the president took that decision because you cannot be holding, you miss the party position with your government position. That is not what it should be. Choose one and serve. You can't serve two masters at the same time. Government is different from political party. And there are plenty of governments that have come to not know. Political institutions are different from government. Yes, it is the political institutions that bring the government to bed, but they do not stay on with the government until. What happens is that people who are with the party, they do party thing. The people who are appointed to the government position do the government jobs, because now it is not about a particular segment of people anymore. It is about the entire country. It's about serving the entire country now. So you have to be very clear in what you do. If you hold in party position and you're in the government, you may want to do some stuff, but it will be directly impacting your party people. It will not impact the other people who do not support you. But if you're in government, you're supposed to serve everybody. So that's how it should be. 0772 758958, 0772 758958, 0886 393184 are the numbers you can call to be a part of the program. Again, it's been a wonderful presentation here, and we always will be here. On tomorrow is the Friday's edition of the program. We were certainly going to be here. We'll drive you through. That is what we are committed to doing. We'll continue to do it. So those of you live on the social media with us, you can also share. Let's take our first caller. Good evening. Well, thanks for asking. Well, thanks for asking. I'm good. Let's hear you. Mm-hmm. No, the Liberia Marketing Association get our headquarters. They pull get our headquarters. Okay. 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 Thank you so much for being a part of the program. That's his concern about the headquarters issue. But again, people should have headquarters. Every institution should have a headquarters on their own. You know, it doesn't take away anything to have your own place. It doesn't take anything. If you have committed party officials who see the party as their own, and they're in government or they're in private sector or other things, when they contribute to the party can have its own headquarters. But many people do not see political party as their own, because what happens is that people who do not suffer for this political institution are the ones who normally benefit. The people who push and pay their dues. You know, when I say pay their dues, not in money, but go to these party functions and other things, you know, go to party rallies and things, they are the most affected. They are the ones who have been neglected. So again, those are issues that have caused most of the political institutions not to have their own headquarters. But folks, more days are ahead that we can talk all of these issues. Again, our thanks and appreciation. Josh, if you're there, you can come. Our thanks and appreciation to you for your viewing role. Those of you who listen via the radio, we want to say thank you as well. You've been a wonderful supporter of Kia Communications Network, Kia Radio 95.9, and we just want to say thanks for always doing what you do best. Again, thanks so much. Tomorrow is another day. We'll be here, and we encourage and employ your decision to join us tomorrow as we go along. Until then, I love you. Let's keep the peace of the country. Liberia is all we have. Until we come back tomorrow, it's a good day. And thanks to Princess for listening and following as well. Tomorrow, Princess will be here, and I'll be here as well. And we can drive you through the Friday's edition of the program. Until then, I love you. Let's keep the peace of the country. Bye-bye.